I hand out autographs. I can be in Dollar Tree the other night, and 2 kids walked up with playing cards and a Sharpie and wanted my autograph.
That's awesome.
Yep. That's what
Power of community.
what the Bob's Louisville's about. It's a running joke. And one of my food service providers, the people that they bring the trucks in, said you don't see it from the outside, or you don't see it from the inside, but from the outside, you have a cult following. Like, you've built this fan base and people love you, go out to eat. So I made the hot brown accessible to the working class, the blue collar, and that sent me through the roof. Like, I win all these awards, best hot brown in Louisville and this, that, and the other. And all I did was make it accessible to people that, we got money out here. We just don't want to put our fancy shoes on and go eat somewhere. We want to eat it on our lunch break and go home. And I got people from all walks of life. I got a guy that's an investment banker that drives a $250,000 Porsche. He comes up here and eats a hot brown on his lunch. And I got, we do a program. There's a few restaurants that do it, and I'm not plugging myself at all. I'm just telling you. But my customers come in, they'll buy you a meal and write it on the ticket and hang it on the fridge. And if you ain't got no money that day, I'll snatch it off and I'll feed you. We'll feed the homeless. We feed the homeless every day.
Welcome back to the Uncharted podcast. Isaac, your host, and today I am at world famous Gorilla Bob's with Bob, the owner. And today we're going to be going in, asking him questions on how he got started, about some licenses, and a few things of what it takes to run a restaurant like this. Thank you, Bob, for coming on.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to be here.
So the first question I would have, how did you start this restaurant?
It was by accident. I didn't want to be a chef. I didn't want to be a cook. I didn't want to be any of it. I want to be a factory worker, do my 8 hours and go home. And then I started cooking. I grew up with a single mom. It's the cliche story. Single parent, she raised 3 kids on her own. Basically, I didn't like what she cooked all the time. So I just started cooking by myself. And then I got a little better and a little better. And one day a friend of mine asked me to cater her baby shower. And I did it. And then from that, I catered another one. And I catered another one. And then I needed a catering kitchen. And the restaurant had closed down. And they said, well, you can come in here and try it. So I opened my first restaurant. And the rest is history.
So you mentioned that there's a shed out there that you started in.
Yep.
How many? You said it was like 800 square feet?
As big as that square. It's 80 square feet.
80 square feet.
It's 10 by 10. So you figure it's 100 square foot on the outside plus the walls. And it's 80 square foot on the inside. And there's enough for you to have a pivot foot. And I turn to you and you take the food and hand it to the person outside.
So what did you start making in the beginning?
Everything I served over there. Actually, I served more out of there than I do here. We cheesesteaks, hot browns, Reubens, Cubans. I travel a lot. We travel all over the United States. And I go to street trucks and street vendors and stuff like that. And I'd find something I liked and I was like, we don't have that at home. So I'd come back home and start serving it.
Did you just start creative with the recipe, or you find the recipe that you wanted to model after?
It's all 100% authentic. There's 2 things that are not. I serve authentic cheesesteaks. I import the rolls, the veggies, the steaks. If you go to Philly and you go to a couple of the places in Philly, you'll get the exact same cheesesteak. Mine are seasoned a little different, but the quality and the way it looks and everything is the exact same as you get in Philly. You go to Miami and you go to one of the shops in Miami and you get a Cuban, the same. It's the seasoned the same and everything. I don't want it, and I'm not talking nothing about any other restaurant, but I don't want you to go to a chain restaurant and you get a cheesesteak and it's some raggedy. Yeah. It ain't got nothing to do with the cheesesteak. It's what their version of a cheesesteak is. Yeah. This is authentic food when you come in here and eat.
That's what's up, man.
I have a jalapeno mango chicken. I invented that. And it's pineapples, jalapenos, grilled chicken, and a mango glaze with provolone cheese. It's one of my signature sandwiches.
You see, that's the problem. I love that kind of stuff, but I can't do it.
Oh man, it's hot. I don't personally eat them. Yeah, they're hot.
So did you have people come in and like test it, or did you just make a dish and then you test it on your customers? Or
I'm fat, dude. If I eat it, you're gonna eat it. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Like the downfall to me in my restaurant, there's nothing healthy here. Mm-hmm. Everything is high high fat content. It's just good food. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to come in. You know, we all work hard, dude. You want to do something, and if you're dieting or if you're keto friendly, we'll make a way for you to still eat it. We'll take the bread off or whatnot. But people just love it.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
When you open a restaurant, there's a lot of things you have to go through, hurdles and stuff. What was it like getting licenses, and what licenses do you need to open a restaurant?
You need to claim your name. That's the first thing. Like you need to go down and you want Isaac's Pancakes or whatever.
Yeah.
You need to come up with a name. That way, everything from that comes off that name. All your your tax information and all that stuff. Nowadays, used to you had to go downtown and do it all. Nowadays, you can do most of it online.
On the phone
online. Get online, do it all, and they'll ask you all your information. You pay all the fees, and it varies. And then when you get everything set up, you got to draw a floor plan of how your kitchen's going to be, all the way down to your hand wash sinks. And then you got to submit that to the health department, and they have to get it approved. And when they approve it, you can build your kitchen. And then when you get all that done, you got to get the health department to come inspect it the first time. Then they come and say, yes, you can go ahead and do it. And then they'll pop in on you the first time. And then they'll come back and give you a letter grade. And then you got to pay them. It varies. Like if you got 1 or 2 chairs, it might not be that much. But if you got 40, 50 chairs, they can get pretty expensive.
So do you have to pay them for each visit?
No, just the third visit is going to be the one where the letter on the door is your actual inspection.
Okay.
The first one's hey, do this, but you need to fix this. The second one's this is approved. And then the third one's a pop-in, like when you'll be mad rush, super busy, food everywhere. And then they're like, hi, we're here to make your day hell. And that's their job though.
Yeah. You
don't want to go to a restaurant and people are serving you warm food and stuff like it's supposed to be cold food.
Yeah.
I highly respect the health department. You shouldn't be scared of them, because if you're scared of them, you're doing something wrong. So you should be respectful of them. And some of them are a little pickier than most, because people think it's just your kitchen, but it's not. It's all the way out to your dumpster.
Wow.
Yeah. I got dinged for my dumpster door being open, and I didn't even do it. Somebody dumped on me. Some butthead come and threw his trash in my dumpster and left the lid open. So you get past all that, and then the rest is not smooth sailing, but it's a little easier than it was when you started.
Okay.
But this is not a job to get rich off of. This is a passion. This is like being a teacher or any job that people think that we get a bunch of money. It's not. It comes in time, but you do this for the love.
So when did you said that your mom was starting, you didn't like her food, so you started doing that, and then one thing led to another. When did it really think that I'm going to do this?
2017. It's only been 6 years.
Yeah. It's right there. So
2017, I hooked up with a business partner. Her and I opened this massive restaurant on Dixie Highway. We didn't see eye to eye. It lasted like 9 months. We didn't see eye to eye. There's no bad blood, no hard feelings. I went my way, she went her way. 2019, I opened a restaurant at Kroger's Distribution Center. It was a cafe inside there, like basically a school cafeteria type thing. And it wasn't what I wanted, because I had a captive audience. The money was great, but I wasn't being able to serve the food I wanted. I had to serve burgers, hot dogs, nachos, and stuff like that. January 2020, or March of 2020, March 16th, 2020, that number is going to ring a bell, because that's the day the governor shut down the state for COVID. At 12 p.m., I signed my lease on that Purple Shack. At 4 p.m., he shut the city down. So from March of 2020 till January 21, I paid rent on that thing and didn't open it.
Wow.
I kept my other restaurant open because we were essential. We were inside. We were filling up all the Kroger's, toilet paper and whatnot. So they kept me open to feed the employees in there. And then January 21, we opened over there. I made it a year and a half, outgrew it, moved here May 15th of last year. And we just only had 6 tables in here until 3 weeks ago. And we just expanded and it stays full.
Wow.
So
That's incredible.
it's a love-hate story. It's a love story. Our sales went up 30% from the time I moved over there to over here. But I didn't want that. I wanted to stay over there. But you can't, you put an alligator in a fish tank, he's only going to get as big as a fish tank.
Yeah, I got you.
So I had to make a choice. You put a gorilla in a cage, he's only going to get as big as a cage. So I had to come over here.
So is there a certain level that you want to get to, or is it, you said like before? So.
I'll tease you with this. We're looking for another location. I don't want to do 10 or 12 locations, but I got a couple of investors that want to see me branch out. I have my main seller is a hot brown because I developed a sauce that's shelf stable, like an Alfredo sauce. And Kroger picked it up. I went to a food show in Kroger, and Kroger picked it up. I'm just waiting on the PO. So they're going to buy my sauce and put it on the shelves at Kroger. For a while, my goal was to leave this alone, like just walk away from it and let people run it. And then I wanted to just sell the sauce. My name's all over it. Just like on the sign, it was my cheesy self holding the hot browns, what I'm doing. But that's huge for me. It's supposed to be anytime before the end of March. I'm waiting on the planogram, and then they're going to order God knows how much sauce. And I have a seasoning line too, like Dano's. I have my own seasoning line, and it's getting ready to get mass produced like the sauce is. So I'm not so much going to more restaurants. I'm going more product. It's less overhead.
I got you. Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
So we talked before about different people. How much is it upfront to open a restaurant?
A lot of people make the mistake when they want to open a restaurant. They want everything to be just right at the beginning. They'll go mortgage their house and take a $100,000 loan. Well, now you got your business bills plus the mortgage on your house plus the mortgage on your house. You're adding more to it. You're not going to make money off of a restaurant probably the first 5 years. You'll get by if you're lucky, and I'm blessed enough to have a wife who's in a different professional career that we kind of feed off each other, and I do side hustles and stuff like that and other stuff, and my sauce and catering and stuff like that. But I think I opened this restaurant for less than 20, but I bought used equipment. I didn't go out and buy a bunch of brand new equipment. I didn't go out and finance a bunch of equipment. One thing I'm going to tell you that since we're talking about it, if you're going to own a restaurant, you better learn how to do plumbing. You better learn how to do HVAC, AC. You better learn how to work on appliances. All that stuff will kick you in the head as soon as you do it. So I had a fryer over there for 2 years. I moved it over here. Didn't do nothing but move it over here and went out in a week. Yeah. And I couldn't get parts for it. Ended up having to buy. Luckily, a friend of mine in the business had one for $600. A fryer, $2,000 new. Yeah. A griddle's $3,000 new. A friend of mine that owns a local pizza chain closed down one of his restaurants during COVID and sold me a fryer and a griddle, super cheap. And I had to fix the griddle, but it still worked. Yeah. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it does what it does.
Oh, yeah. Sick.
So that's my main advice. If you're going to get into a restaurant business, you better get into interior decorating, painting, plumbing, all that stuff.
I got you. Awesome. So you talked about you had you created your menu. Mm-hmm. What was your inspiration in doing that? You saw that there wasn't this.
There was a niche. Where do you come from? What part of town do you come from?
I actually come from Florida. I just moved here a year ago.
So this is awesome. Okay. So you're on Dixie Highway, this corridor, and I'm not making jokes. We have 2 mom and pop family restaurants. One is 5 miles that way and one's 5 miles this way. In between them, I could sit here and count and tell you at least 6 Mexican restaurants. And there's a Popeyes, and there's a KFC, and there's a Lee's Famous Recipe, and there's 2 fish houses. You see where I'm going with this? And there's up-teen pizza restaurants. Now we have 2 cheesesteak places, but before it was just me. Now we have 2 Cuban restaurants, 2 places that serve Cubans. There's 1 Cuban restaurant, but at the time we didn't have any Cuban restaurants out here. Nobody served hot browns out here. I was the only one that served hot browns, and if they did it on a daily basis, like on a Thursday night. You can walk in here from 11 in the morning to 9 at night and order a hot brown. You can work construction and come in here in your muddy boots. And a Kentucky hot brown is known to be in upscale restaurants. When I was a kid, I'm 48 years old now, but when I was a kid, my aunt used to take me. We'd have to put a little jacket on or be dressed nice. And I was like, man, these things are awesome, but some people can't afford to go out and dress up and go out to eat. So I made the hot brown accessible to the working class, to blue collar, and that sent me through the roof. Like I win all these awards, best hot brown in Louisville and this, that, and the other. And all I did was make it accessible to people that, we got money out here. We just don't want to put our fancy shoes on and go eat somewhere. We want to eat it on our lunch break and go home.
Exactly.
That's the niche I seen like, you want a Reuben? Especially like today. I could have opened today and sold out because of St. Patrick's Day. I got one of the best Reubens in Louisville. The only other place you can get a Reuben that good is on Barstown Road or the Highlands or Barrett or something. So I seen all them niches and I know that we needed that food. So that's why I opened it like this.
What's up? That's what's up. So are there any other foods coming that you want to create? Or are you just, right now you have a set that you're going with?
So it's funny you say because it don't match. You South Florida, North Florida, Central Florida?
North Florida. Definitely.
So it's funny you say that. Like, I want shrimp and grits because I love shrimp and grits, and you can't get them here. But what do I look like serving shrimp and grits out of a sandwich shop? Like,
Gotcha.
So I haven't done it yet. And we just now introduced some appetizers and stuff like that. And we're introducing some stuff. I'm working in another fryer. I'm big on quality. You hear the pizza place that says quality ingredients, whatever. But I'm big on quality. Like, I will not sacrifice my quality to get you to buy more food. Like, I don't care, point blank. Up until a month ago, I wouldn't serve onion rings because onion rings tears up your oil, and I don't want my French fries to taste like onion rings. It's Lent. I get cussed out by people all the time because I don't have fish. There's 1,000 fish places to go eat at. Come and eat on Tuesday. You don't have to come here and eat on Friday. Go eat, enjoy your fish. Because I'm going to. Like, I'm not Catholic, but I'm still going to go to all the fish places and eat. You don't need to come here. I don't want your French fries tasting like fish. It's me respecting you. Like, that's all it is. The shrimp and grits. People are allergic to shellfish. So I only have one griddle and I have to toss it on the grill. And I don't want to take the risk of you having a shellfish allergy and then you not coming back to my restaurant for my satisfaction of saying, hey, I got your shrimp and grits when you can go get it somewhere else.
And that's one thing that a lot of people don't do. They don't prioritize the customer.
That way to win a business is one of the questions. The customer is not always right, but they're always going to be your customer. If you claim your food looks this way and you send it out and it don't look anything like you claim it does, they're not going to like that food. They can be the best tasting food in the world. And if it looks like crap, they ain't even going to want to taste it. They'll never know because it turned them off just looking at it.
Because you started with the lie.
Right.
You told them that it was one thing and it wasn't, and then they don't trust you, and they'll walk out the door.
I'm not going to mention names, but when I moved over here, my customers financed me to come over here. I said, I'm trying to move. I didn't ask for money. I'm trying to move. People start bringing me donations, $500, $3,000, $1,500. People just bring me money. A guy wrote me a check for $5,000 for a meatball sub.
Wow.
Because I'm transparent. I'm not gonna, if I don't feel good, I'm not gonna open. If I'm not 100% on my game, it's gonna reflect on your sandwich, on your food. And I know it's silly to say, but that's just how I feel. Like, would you want your heart surgeon feeling bad and doing surgery? I know it's two totally different things.
Oh, no.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you want your mechanic, like, oh man, I really ain't feeling good, and then miss a bolt or something when he's putting your wheel back on. Like, if you're not 100% on your game, then you shouldn't be here. And I, for the longest time, for 3 years, up until the 3 weeks ago, was the only person here. I was the only person that cooked. I had 2 other people. We're just now getting to where we have employees, but I'd get yelled at because I wasn't open. He's never open. Here are the hours that I'm open, and I get on Facebook and say, I'm not going to be there today. My lawyer customers will say, okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
Because when I was looking at finding, I saw some of those posts. He said, you won't be open. Then the next time he said, you'll be open.
Yeah. And like you said, that's how you build a good business, is being transparent, being honest with your customers. And I can go by, we use Cheese Whiz. Cheese Whiz is extremely expensive. I can go buy a can of cheese and use it and tell you it's Cheese Whiz. But you know the difference.
Yeah.
If you eat Cheese Whiz, you're going to know the difference. And then now I'm lying to you again. So.
This was one that I'm interested in. With being in you say it's local, your local business.
Mm-hmm.
What are some strategies for building a strong community for your local business?
Dude, that app, Facebook, can make or break a whole company. We got to talk about communication. My 2 biggest sellers are cheesesteaks and hotbrowns. Say I close at 8 o'clock. I get on there at 6:45. I'm out of hotbrowns. I might as well lock the door. Because if I say that, one person walked through that door. Because I'm out of the product. Case in point, Thursday night, or Friday night, we just started open till 11 about 3 weeks ago. Everything happened 3 weeks ago, literally. Like, I got sick, my wife took over, we hired some people, and then everything, I was rolling it all out, and then I got sick, because what happened, I got sick on a Monday, and it all started happening that Monday. I said, remember guys, we got delivery. And I posted a big old picture of a cheesesteak. You've probably seen it. Big old fat cheesesteak. We got delivery. We had $200 and something in deliveries in 20 minutes after I posted that picture. Wow. The power of Facebook. All those food pages, Louisville Takeout, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. People get mad at you because you use it as advertising, but that's what it's there for. Yeah. It's up to the admins to delete it. I'll post it. You can go delete it if you want to. I don't care. But I'm still going to get my 10 minutes of fame until somebody catches it and deletes it. So, and again, go on I Am Dixie Highway and any one of my posts, and people will tell you how much they love me. And I'm not speaking conceitedly. I'm just saying I genuinely have the best customer base in Louisville. And it goes from Louisville all the way to Steelville, Illinois. She's on I Am Dixie Highway, I don't know why, but she comments on my posts every time. She loves me to death. She'll drive down here, visit her sister, eat, get a hug, get a picture, and post her picture and go back to Steelville. I hand out autographs. I can be in Dollar Tree the other night, and 2 kids walked up with playing cards and a Sharpie and wanted my autograph.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. That's what that's
power of community, man.
That's what the Bob's Louisville's about. It's a running joke. And one of my food service providers, the people that they bring the trucks in, said, you don't see it from the outside. Or you don't see it from the inside, but from the outside, you have a cult following. Like, you've built this fan base and people love you. And now I'm like, I start to see it a little bit. But I try to stay humble. I mean, yeah. I'm a massive guy. I understand that. Like, twice your size. But I built a brand off my face and my name and me, not off my restaurant. I built my restaurant off me. And It's risky because if I do something stupid, then we can all get jerked out from underneath me.
Well, that hit the next one that we already hit. How do you attract more customers? Well, that shows that right there.
That's it.
We're posting and putting out more.
Stay relevant. Stay relevant. Like, be proud of your product. Do not bash other companies. We eat local. My wife and I eat local all the time. You ask me after the interview where to go eat, and I'll tell you the next person to interview. Stay local, support small business, and it'll all come back to you tenfold. I'm no better than anybody else in here. I have a different brand. I have a different taste, but I'm not saying my food's any better. Now, if you go to a restaurant and they drop the ball, that's on them. It's not on me.
Yeah.
You can text me and say, Bob, it wasn't nothing like you told me it was. And again, but I'm not going to bash another restaurant. I go to the same 2 restaurants for breakfast every Saturday, Sunday. I go to a local Italian place. And I go to 3 of them 6 Mexican restaurants. I just rotate them. But I support local.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. If none of us support each other, none of us are going to last. So we have to.
Agree.
Yep. Now we have 3 cheesesteak places. I said that, and one guy comes in here and gets cheesesteak from me all the time.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, now that I said that out loud, I was thinking about it.
So what are 3, can you name off 3 that you think are the most important key factors in running a restaurant? You have your fan base.
Yep.
And what would you say?
Fan base, product, and consistency. Now, people that are watching this that might be not fans of mine will say that I'm bad with consistency. My food consistency is top notch, 100%. My being open consistency hasn't had the best track record, but I have reasoning, and I'm not saying it's an excuse. I have reasoning. They can't see it probably, but this girl right here worked for me. We opened in 21. She died in 22. My son died in 22. Mike, who worked for me, he was a homeless guy. He cleaned my lot, my everything. He died in 22. I lost 6 people, including my wife's grandfather, grandmother, them 3, another girl that worked for me in 2022. And people are like, why ain't you open? Well, I could say some choice words, but the point is, there was a reason why we weren't consistent in 2022.
Yeah, that should be understandable.
Then we grew back in 23, still, battling with what happened in 22. But consistency is the key. Food consistency is the key. If you can't get your product, don't sell the product. Don't sell something that's half-stepping just to get that dollar. That's what I said in the beginning. That's where people mess up all the time. Like,
how do you manage the food costs and inventory?
That's funny. Ironic you just asked that. I use a system. When we started over there, I had 2 freezers, 2 chest freezers, 3 refrigerators. And I'd order and buy what I needed for the day. And there's a store right up the street. So we have a system that we worked where they'd order the food in and I could get it the next day from them. I wouldn't have to have a truck. Our Cubans are fresh. You know what a Cuban sandwich is? Roasted pork, ham, whatever. So our Cubans are fresh. So I'd make a Cuban meat that I think would last me for a day and a half. Once I ran that out, that was it. If you didn't get it, you'd have to wait till the next day. And it worked. So when you bring new people in, they got this understanding that everything has to be, you got to have, first of all, in the health department, you can only keep stuff for 3 days. Once you cook something, it can only be stored for 3 days and it has to be thrown out. So you want to keep your food costs down for that too. So like, I'd rather use it and lose a couple sales than waste bottom dollar on something than have to throw it out.
Yeah.
Because they check dates, and if there ain't a date on it, they're going to throw it away. You could throw away $60 worth of turkey. It could be a bunch of sales, but it might not be. But,
And that's what some people don't see is that people are going to come in and get mad, but they don't see that part of it.
Yeah.
They said, well, the person that comes in, they're not going to see that person, and you're going to have to pay the price for it.
And we don't get fined, but they can shut us down. Like if it's too bad.
Yep.
So just something, an honest mistake, like you don't even think about, like the dumpster lids or the ladies' restroom not having a lid on the trash can. Like I never heard that until this one particular guy. What happened was we got nominated to be the cleanest restaurant in the South End. It was three of us, and I lost because I didn't have a lid on the ladies' trash can, and my dumpster lid was open. Had nothing to do with my kitchen. Oh, the guy I lost to, I had one of his pizzas on a box of cups back here, which was my fault. I think he set me up because he beat me. But I just didn't think, and I moved the pizza and set it there, and it's cross contamination type. It's not, but it is. But it's a rule, and I messed up and it's whatever. But anyway, food costs is you want your food costs 38%. That way you got some wiggle room with your labor and your overhead and stuff like that. Over there, I didn't care about food costs because it was me.
Yeah.
Like over here, I'm starting to penny pinch a little bit, and I'm not buying anything different. I just got to watch how I buy it.
What is one motivation that gets you out of bed every day to come do this?
This is my favorite question every time. And I'm not saying it because you're asking it. Do you remember, you're from Florida. I don't know. Y'all got ice cream trucks down there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when you're sitting on the couch or you're playing and you hear the ice cream truck and you run up and that smile you had on your face when he put his toothless head out the window and said, "What you want?" Yep. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
People walk in that door and see my face and got that same smile because they want a hot brown or they want a cheesesteak. And that smile keeps me going. Again, it ain't about the money. It's about making people smile. I have cancer patients that come in here that get Rubens because they have belly cancer, and sauerkraut is a natural digestive thing, something, I don't know. But they come in here and eat after their treatments. And that means a lot, man. Like I'm part of their treatment. I'm part of their journey. I'm part of their progress. Everybody has a story for me. People come in here. I have this little elderly couple that comes in every Tuesday. They'll get a Reuben or a meatball, and they'll share it. And they'll sit over and have a day date. And then he'll go and wash his hands and come back and poke his head around and say, "It's good seeing you, Bob. I'll see you next week." And I have all these people that just look to me as a friend, and they're more than customers now.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I come in here. The reason we're sitting on this couch is because if days are rough and people don't come in, I still want to be able to come in, and the customers that come here, I still want to sit and talk to them and
get to know them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Therapeutic type thing.
I love that community type stuff where it goes so much more than food or product, the connection.
Yep.
And then people will rally behind you with everything that you do.
The larger we get, the bigger we get as chefs. I'm not a chef. I have zero culinary training whatsoever. I'm self-taught from the ground up. I'm a cook. I'm just like you in your kitchen at home. I just do it a little different, a little faster now, and I got more knowledge. But the bigger we get, you lose humility. They don't understand to stay humble. You have to stay humble.
Yeah.
Like, one of my greatest feats, it sounds goofy. I was invited to Kentucky Derby this year. Like one of the Browns, here's the catch. Then they told me how much the tickets were I had to buy. I got the invite. I'm not quite to the point where somebody's going to pay my way, but I got it. Like they invited me to be there. And it gets to your head. Like your head swells up a little bit because you're like, man, I'm heading up that way. But you got to stay humble. And I will always say my customers are the reason why I am where I'm at. And if they all left, then I'd just be Joe Blow on the street again. I drive over the road, not big trucks, but courier stuff. I'd go straight back to that. If this was gone tomorrow, I'd just walk away.
What is the biggest challenge owning a local restaurant? Is it getting people to work? Or?
Getting people to work is hard. What you and I talked about, that powerful tool of Facebook that can take you straight down to. All it takes is a disgruntled employee to say, or customer, to say something off the wall, like I found a hair, and not come to me and go to Facebook. And 50 shares later, my business Facebook page, I just posted it the other day, has 670 million views. I circled it. I'll show it to you before we leave.
Sure.
So if that's got 670 million views, somebody with 210,000 views, well, I'm not going to eat at Gorilla Bob's. You know how hard that hit my customer, my bottom line, like just off of a misunderstanding. So back to the customers, not always right, but you got to be able to talk to the customer and make things right.
And if they're really upset, how to de-escalate it and try to get to them that you didn't mean to do.
Ain't nothing purposely.
Yeah.
We're all human. I made a post about it the other day. I said, we're hiring some new people. We got new people. Your food's going to get messed up. Just come to me first. Let me fix it before you go and bash me. But like I said, most of my customers are great, amazing people. Like I can't say it enough. And I got people from all walks of life. I got a guy that's an investment banker that drives a $250,000 Porsche. He comes up here and eats a hot brown on his lunch. And I got, we do a program. There's a few restaurants that do it, and I'm not plugging myself at all. I'm just telling you. But my customers come in, they'll buy you a meal and write it on the ticket, and they'll hang it on the fridge. And if you ain't got no money that day, I'll snatch it off and I'll feed you. We'll feed the homeless. We feed the homeless every day. But it goes from one extreme to the other. So if that guy in the Porsche came in here and didn't have any money that day, I'd feed him too. Like, it ain't about where you're at. It's about where you're at right now. Like, if I'm here to feed people. I don't care about your social status. Make sure you eat.
What advice do you give aspiring restaurant owners that come to you for advice?
I get a lot. And it goes back to their gung-ho. Like, just take it easy. Take it slow. Listen to people. Not necessarily me, but listen. Pay attention. And try to stay humble. Just because you like it, don't mean everybody's going to like it. I know what I said in the beginning, but it worked for me. Like, I didn't mean for it to work like that. I put it all together and said, man, I bet people like this. I liked it. I've tasted some really funky food that people were like, man, this is the best stuff ever. But start off slow. Don't go get all the big loans. Don't go finance all your equipment. Trust people's judgment. Constructive criticism, no matter how bad it sounds, will help you in the long run. Like, it might come off as just criticism, but people are trying to help you. Pandemic shut a lot of us down. Like, we've been through it. We've been through the weeds, man. That was rough. I've seen some of my good friends crying. We cry with each other at the food store. Like, what are we gonna do now? Our food, like, I shouldn't say this, but at this point I don't care, but the French fries I use went from $38 a box to $70 a box in like 3 months during the pandemic. The steaks I used went from 30-something to 70-something dollars. The turkey I used went from $3.19 a pound to $7 a pound. And I raised my prices very minimum, maybe $1. Because I knew we were all suffering. And I just prayed. It's all coming back down. It's all, it's still up there, but it's all coming back down. But that right there is why our oil went to like $50 for, it was $16 or something. It went for $50. It's down to 30. So do your research. If you're going to start a restaurant, do your research. Go around when I first opened 31, I wanted a particular country fried steak. I didn't have the room to hand bread them. And everybody's like, oh, you can. But people can tell you they have hand breaded stuff all the time. They don't. There's ways you buy them and fry them, and it looks hand breaded and it tastes amazing. But I went to every restaurant on Dixie Highway that served the country fried steak and ate it over a 2-weekend span. I ate one on Saturday, one on Sunday, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And I went and bought my own, and mine was better. Mine was better because it was bigger. It wasn't better tasting or anything. It just bigger, presented better. This presentation is everything. Do your research. People are popping up restaurants to try to compete with other restaurants that's been in business for 5 and 10 years and serving almost the same exact food. Them people got their loyal customers.
Yep.
They're not going to leave. They're not going to leave me to go to somebody else. And I'm not going to leave my buddy's Mexican restaurant to go to a new one. Like, why would I do that?
Sure. What do you see the future of the restaurant industry looking like as far as like?
We're going to keep getting our heads beat in as small businesses, small restaurants, mom and pops. You're going to see us struggle a lot. A few of us are lucky to have the clientele that we do and the following that we do that keeps us afloat. It's an unfortunate thing. Even the chain restaurants are starting to see it. I mean, like, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about certain ones, but like Rallies and Hardee's and stuff like that, they're trying, but as soon as they open one, another one closes. Like, it's like,
Yep.
Well,
you see so many deals on different things. So many places are running so many deals right now because they're feeling it.
Everybody's taking a hit, but the quality of food is going down because they can't get help.
Nobody wants to go to work.
Nobody wants to work. We just lost another small business, Sue's Kitchen. She closed finally. She sold her building. She didn't, I'm not gonna say she came out smelling like roses, but she didn't fail. She walked out of it. Like, yeah. Like a lot of us fail. Like we have debt and all that stuff. She sold her stuff and got out of it. But
it's good that she did because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, it's a struggle. I'm telling you, it's a huge struggle.
What is it? I don't know if you know. What is this percentage? Because I know it's fairly small on the margin of. Maybe I'm saying this wrong. The profit. What is the profit margin in that first 5 years?
Oh,
because I know it's really
shouldn't even tell you. I don't even know. I know I'm in year 3 of this restaurant, and hardly any. It's enough to pay my employees. Sometimes, like when I say that, I mean some days you don't make enough, but the next day will make up for it, type stuff. But
I got you.
It's the theory is you open 6 or 7 restaurants and then they all pay for each other
as time goes on.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something that I'm not gonna mention his name. He wouldn't care if I mentioned his name, but it was an epiphany for me. We were sitting as another small business owner who owns multiple locations, and he said, "Bob, one day you're going to be able to pay your LG&E in one payment." And before he said that, I just got cold chills. Before he said that, I thought I was the only one that had to make payment arrangements on my LG&E. He said, "One day you're going to pay your LG&E and you're going to pay it in one payment. You're going to have to make 2 payments." And I was like, "You do that?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, we all struggle." Another small business guy was eating lunch, and him and his accountant were sitting there and they had all his bills spread out, and I walked by and he had a brown bill, the LG&E bill, like past due amount. Like they're going to shut your crap off if you don't pay this bill. And I'm like, man, you think you're the only one and you're not. Like, we all struggle.
Even when you get bigger, big ass struggle. Everybody.
Was that Millions Crabs that was here? Millions Crab, they had 3 locations and they owed like $2.5 million in back rent. We didn't pay none of it. They came in and put padlocks on all of them.
Imagine the interest on that.
I don't know none of it. That's my fear, dude. That's why I don't want to get no bigger. I don't want all that. We get stolen from a lot too. Like, not all accountants, but the closest, some of the closest people to you are the first ones to take from you. And it's little things, food, shirts, and stuff like that. So you don't need it. The bottom line, though, at the end of it.
Yeah.
But I look over stuff like that. My employees treat me good.
Yeah, because they know you'll treat them good.
I try. I don't always succeed, but I try.
What roles do partnerships play in your business?
I absolutely hate them. But for me, it's a thing of failure. Like, if you want to get in the business with me and I fail, I'm failing you too.
Yeah.
I'd rather just fail myself than you not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I get that.
I
don't want to take somebody else down with me.
Yeah. I'm the captain of this ship, and I'm going to ride it till the end. And I don't want to hold on to you and pull you down with me. But to grow, you need people around you that are smarter than you. Sometimes you need people that have more money than you. And sometimes you got to bite your tongue and take the risk. So at this moment, we're kind of taking a risk. We're growing. Like I said, my sales are way up. Like, it surprises me.
Because you're a loyal fan base.
I have an amazing fan base, dude. I can't say it enough. We keep talking fan base, I'm gonna get teary-eyed, but like, I go back to my son, he had over 3,000 people at his funeral. Yep. My family has touched a lot of people, and they can't see it. That picture right there in the middle of that blanket, that's my youngest son hanging out of the truck. My oldest son is in the bed of that truck in his casket. That's in the middle of Dixie Highway. And a lady called the police, and the police came and shut down the whole road. And they called the police to tell us to stop. And the police, who come and eat here every Tuesday, shut down the road. And we did that all the way down the street to the cemetery for about 3 blocks.
Wow.
And the cemetery had the biggest fan base, the biggest group of people they've ever had at a burial. It was over 3,000 people. You couldn't see, there was drones and everything. We had a media crew there.
That's awesome.
Because it was Jacob Raymer, my son, but he's the son of Gorilla Bob's. And Jacob did a lot for the community. And Jacob had his own fan base. And he always plugged my restaurant. He's my biggest fan. And it all come full circle. Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's awesome.
But it's all based off of my small business restaurant. Like my funeral won't even be that cool. It will not. I will never see anything like that again in my life. But it's based off of our community and the people that we're surrounded by, the people that love us.
Because you took the risk of touching people's hearts.
That's all I want. If I could have, Bon Jovi's got a restaurant that don't charge for anything. If you can't pay for it, you can eat it. But if you want to work it off, you can wash dishes or whatever. Everybody jokes about washing dishes, but he really does it. If I can get to that point, I'm going to open a restaurant where I'll pay my employees and you can come in and eat for donations. You and her can eat. You got $20, you throw $20 in the bucket.
That's all.
Yep.
Okay.
Long-term goals, man. Long-term goals.
Oh, yeah. So we touched on, you said, any innovative with projects in the culinary. You talked about you had some products going out there.
Yep. The sauce is out, but we're the first ever shelf-stable Mornay sauce. Mornay is a fancy word for cheese gravy. And I have a very rich Mornay. I made so much, people were like, you need to bottle that. So I did it. And then I put my face on it again. My face is on everything. And we're going to do a meatloaf kit. Everybody likes my meatloaf. We're working on a meatloaf kit, coleslaw kit, a couple other things. So we get in the grocery.
Are you only with Kroger right now? Or
Yeah, I've reached out to, what's the specialty store in Cincinnati? Jungle Gyms. I reached out to them because somebody told me that they're real open to like bringing new products in. And then a lady at Walmart has got their marketing people reaching out to me. They're a different distributor than Kroger is though. And mom and pop stores, Frank's Produce on Preston, they carry it when I have it. And then a couple of hardware stores have it. A place in Litchfield called Little Dave's. They do pizzas and they do hot brown pizza. She carries it.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, you said you've been in this space for 3 years. Last question to wrap it up. What do you believe are key ingredients for maintaining long-term success and sustainability in the restaurant industry?
We're going to circle back. And I'm going to tell you that keeping a good customer base, keeping good quality, and consistency will always staying consistent in your life in general will always keep you moving forward. But staying consistent in a business, everything's online now. You got Temu and Sheen or Shine or whatever you call it. Like,
yep.
You order all this crap from them, and then the next big thing pops up, and everybody orders all this crap from them, like the Temu and Sheen. Everybody orders all this stuff from them, and then eventually the consistency starts to slow down, and then they lose track, and then people start, like Amazon's turned into the post office. Like, it's terrible now. You gotta stay consistent. You have to. Mm-hmm. As hard as it might be. And if it means, hey y'all, I ain't gonna open today. I'm not feeling 100%. I might be closed. I'm losing sales, but I don't want to lose future customers off of me screwing up your order. If you walk in here tomorrow, you'll see me at the front desk taking your order.
Right. That's it.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
It's been Uncharted Podcast with Bob, restaurant owner. Love this interview, and take care, and I'll see you in the next one.